Tell me a ghost story that sounds completely unbelievable but is entirely true. I'll go first.
I have a few of those. So this takes place in Central Florida. I want to say mid to late 2000s. I was 10 or 11 years old at the time when some of these things happened. But things, continued to happen even though my mom later moved out of that house. I always felt like, I don't know if it's my mom or my stepdad, but like they definitely attract energies and different spirits. So I also have a 3D model of this house on my computer that I built a while ago. So I, booted my computer up and opened up that little house so I can show you guys where I'm talking about. So you can, see I'm a visual learner. If I've been obsessed with, all of these stories on TikTok, and everyone always describes the layout, but I cannot picture it in my head. So I thought it'd be easier to show you. So right now I'm standing like where the front door is, main entrance. This is what we call the big living room. That right there is a sliding glass door that leads to the backyard. This entryway, not really a door, leads to the little living room. The house had 2 living rooms. That's a computer room, early 2000s. Okay, so this is the little living room. Also, side notes, I made it like nighttime outside so it could be more realistic, but for some reason it turned everything blue. We did not have blue cabinets, although we did have an ugly green couch. So me and my brother, I can't do this with one hand, bear with me, fell asleep in the little living room on these 2 recliners. My brother fell asleep in this recliner right here. I fell asleep in this recliner. He brought a blanket with him. I was stupid and I did not. And I knew to get a blanket. I mean, I woke up in the middle of the night just absolutely fucking freezing. And my sister's room is that door right there at the end of the hallway where I knew that I would find like a sheet or a blanket or something. The only problem was I was scared of walking down this hallway because of that sliding glass door. It did not have any curtains or blinds. It was just bare, and I was so scared of, looking out the window and someone staring back at me. So I start walking down this hallway, and I came up with a plan where if I just walk like this, like covering, my peripheral with my hand, then I would not see anything out of the corner of my eye at that window. The only problem is when I got halfway down the hallway, I froze. I felt like somebody was watching me. I just felt like eyes were on me. And I don't know why I did this, but I decided to lift my hand and just take a little peek at the door. And as soon as I did that, it is like a grown-ass man took both of his fists and was pounding as hard as he can on the sliding glass door. Like the second I looked at it, pounding on it. I mean, pounding so hard that I can see the door shaking. Like I can see the glass wobbling because of how hard he's pounding on it. And I sprint down the hallway, don't even go to my sister's room. I go down the connecting hallway to my mom's room. Thankfully, the light was on her. My stepdad were awake. And I told them, I was getting a blanket. I heard pounding. And, there's something in the backyard. So my stepdad grabs a baseball bat and checks the whole perimeter of the house, front, back, side, nothing. He didn't find any signs of anyone trying to break into the house. There was absolutely nothing there, nobody there. That's one of my stories that involves a window. For some reason, most of my stories is fucking windows. I am scared of windows to this day. The other one happens in my sister's bedroom, the one where I was trying to get to in the first story. So when you walk into my sister's room, I had to give her Hannah Montana sheets. When you walk into my sister's room, like it's a very small, pretty basic room. It's just a couple of, furniture pieces. She had a huge window. It wasn't a sliding glass door, but it was a very large window that took up almost the entire wall. And she had a little closet here. So I fell asleep in this bed right here, and it's in the same orientation as it is now. So like the headboard is right up against that window. And honestly, I feel like that window even like came out even more. So I was like fully in front of this window. And we apparently don't believe in curtains or blinds because her window as well was completely bare, just like this, nothing covering it. And you can kind of see here, like the fence. That's the side of the house. So this is the fence separating us from our next door neighbor. So that little area is literally just a little strip. Like it's not a big area. And I tried my best to convey it. But this whole area, like the side of the house, was just like, you know, trees, shrubbery, tall grass, fucking plants that I don't even know what they are, but definitely not room like it's showing here. Like just all of this blank area you see, just picture tall grass and trees and bushes and snakes, bears, you know, you name it. So I fell asleep right here. Oh, I'm inside the wall. I fell asleep here. Well, falling asleep, trying to fall asleep. And I left the door open because, oh, fuck. Okay, because my mom was in that recliner that I was in originally, and her and some of my siblings were just watching TV. So I figured, okay, if I see my mom, then I'm safe. Like, nothing can happen to me, right? My mom's right there. So I start falling asleep, and right as I'm about to fall asleep, you know, my eyes are closed, I start hearing, like, right behind my head, like as if someone is trying to get my attention. Complete opposite of that grown-ass man slamming his fist against the door. It was just a little like, just someone poking right here, trying to get my attention. And I knew for a fact that nobody was in that area. Nobody in their right mind would be anywhere near that tall grass in Florida. Not unless they want to get bit by like 7 different species of venomous snakes. My heart immediately started pounding as soon as I heard that tapping right behind my head. And I know there's flight mode, which did not kick in for me. I went into freeze mode. I completely froze. I was terrified of, if I tried to go run to my mom, I felt like I was going to be tempted, just like the first time, to look at that window. And the last thing I wanted to see was somebody on the other side staring back at me. I did not want to see anything. So I fell asleep crying the whole time. That little tap, tap, tap behind my head. I fell asleep to that sound in tears. I remember telling my mom about it, like, I don't know, not immediately the morning after, but sometime afterwards. So those were some of the things that happened to me personally in the house. Nothing compared to some of the stuff that my siblings have encountered. They have actually seen things that were, you know, way worse. Also, I'm going to show you one more thing. So this is our dining room. Another sliding glass door, another window, no curtains, no blinds, no nothing. And my sister was sitting right here in this chair. Oh, I also changed it to daytime because I was getting a little freaked out even just telling the stories. So my sister was sitting in this chair right here. My mom was sitting in this chair. And they were just talking. And my sister, facing this way, froze. Like, look of fear in her eyes. And my mom thought it was something behind her in the backyard. But in reality, my sister saw the reflection of something behind her. And what she saw was, it sounds cliche, but a woman with long dark hair and a long white night dress floating from this entrance all the way across, as if she was like going down the hallway and just continuing down. And that is what my sister saw the reflection of. It might have been like a couple of weeks after this happened, but my little sister, 4 or 5 years old at the time, went crying to my mom, telling her that she saw a woman with long dark hair and a long white nightgown standing in the corner of her room. And at first my mom was pissed because she thought that, you know, my older sister went telling all the little siblings. So when she confronted my sister about it, and my sister was pleading like, I swear I didn't tell anybody. Please, you have to believe me, mommy. And like you could just, see the fear and the truth in her eyes. And my mom knew that my sister was telling the truth. And this is something that my little sister did see. There's 100 other things that have happened. Collectively, my family has a lot of stories, including even when we moved out of the house, is some of the freakiest shit that my brother has told me.